again. I'm Fraser, and we are here today to give you the full experience of Salvia divinorum. Alright, salvia is a widely distributed plant of the mint family, Lamiaceae, as we learned earlier this year. It's also a bedding plant cultivated for its spikes of bright flowers.
According to John Hopkins, he went to Yale, and direct quote, salvia is a harmless yet powerful hallucinogenic with the potential to treat pain and to cure many illnesses, such as drug addictions and the cure for AIDS.
So,
who would have thought?
There are two different sides of salvia. Is it good or is it bad? We'll find out if you just keep watching.
Keep listening.
Thanks.
Ladies and gentlemen, the battle you have all been waiting for. Weed versus salvia. Today, we have Salvia Eric versus the legend Tommy Chong. Run through the tires. First one through the tape buys lunch.
We're about to get another inside look on what Reverend Rogers thinks about salvia. Let's go in, see what you're up to.
Oh, didn't see you guys there. How can I help you?
Well, Reverend Rogers, we were just wondering, what do you think about salvia, considering that shamans discovered this drug?
Well, funny you should ask, because salvia actually means to save. And look by the looks of you two, we could use a lot of that.
Wait, what do you mean salvia means to save?
Well, in Latin, salvia means save.
What does divinorum mean?
It means of the seers. Let me tell you guys, the only thing you'll ever see me lighting up is a little bit of Advent candles.
Thank you, Reverend. What Rev didn't know was that the first recorded mention of salvia was made in 1938 by John B. Johnson, who heard the Maztecs making tea from leaves of Herba Maria, which induced visions.
Gordon Wasson and Albert Hoffman gathered the first specimen of Salvia divinorum from the Maztecs in 1962, described as a less desirable substitute for hallucinogenic mushrooms.
Then, in August 2002, researchers discovered that Salvia divinorum acts as kappa opiate receptor, or KOR site, where the KOR site is where much of human perception is regulated.
Salvia divinorum is in a class of drugs known as KOR and thought to play psychotherapeutic roles in perception-altering diseases.
Many think salvia, when you take it, that it induces visions of the Virgin Mary. So that's an interesting fact. And what Rev was trying to say was that in Latin, salvia is code word for to save, and divinorum means of the seers. Catch you next time. What is salvia?
Salvia is a plant.
Yes. Do you know what it's used for? Like what people use it for?
Medicinal purposes only.
Only. Perfect.
We're about to go to the nurse to figure out what the pros are for salvia.
We're going to get an inside look, ask the nurses, what good does salvia do? Anything medicinally? We're about to find out inside the infirmary.
Okay. Hey, we were wondering if you could tell us what salvia does.
Anything medicinally?
Positively.
Well, I've heard some things that it treats diarrhea and your headaches and some forms of inflammation, and it has this unique effect on your brain too.
Mm-hmm.
They say it's useful for Alzheimer's patients and to treat pain and drug addiction.
Wow.
Oh, awesome.
That's
very,
great.
that's fascinating.
There's not too many pros, but that's good to hear that there is something great coming out of salvia. Thank you.
I get a good feeling, 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 yeah.
I think you would add it to your weight training program to be better performance.
That's great.
So, Kenyon, what do you think the negative effects are salvia?
Well, physically, some of them, nausea, lack of coordination, slurred speech, decreased heart rate, chills, and some dizziness. How about that?
Some more negative effects that salvia has on the user is that it can be too intense for some people.
Some people get no effect at all.
It's also not known as a party drug because you have to have a sitter, someone who sits there and makes sure that you're going to be okay throughout your high.
Also, there are no research on the health effects. We just don't know what's going to happen in the long run.
Salvia hasn't been used recreationally for very long, and there have not been any recorded health risks.
And also, some people could think salvia is a really horrible drug just because the high only lasts for 5 minutes.
Maximum is 30, so it's relatively high.
So what are some street names of salvia, Drew?
Yeah, well, when you go to go pick it up, you can either call it Magic Mint, Sally D, Sage of Sears, Diviner Sage, any of those names. Yeah.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah.
I like Salvia delvinorum because it is a form of the sage family. It has a beautiful scent, but most importantly, it grows very tall and has a beautiful purple flower that attracts hummingbirds. And so I have it in my garden.
That's awesome.
That's a great
Thanks,
answer.
Carrie.
Best one all day.
Seriously. So Tom, what do you think about salvia?
I don't know anything about it.
Really?
Really. I just know that, well, some actors smoked it or something.
Yeah, Miley Cyrus. What do you think salvia is?
Something that Miley Cyrus got busted smoking on the internet.
You know, I don't know much about salvia. When I think of salvia, the first thing that comes to mind is Miley Cyrus. So I don't know what that says about it.
Put my hands up to play my song. The butterflies fly away. I'm nodding my head like yeah.
Well, I'm pretty sure it's legal, but I just heard it's illegal. And it's like weed.
It's a drug.
Yeah, it is a drug. It's a drug.
Like a plant?
Is it legal?
Like marijuana, yes.
Yeah. I don't think it's legal anymore.
Is it
used to be legal, wasn't it?
Salvia remains very controversial, and that is often compared to LSD and other controversial drugs. It is often called the new pot in many places in the United States. The legality of salvia still remains an issue. It is currently legal in Georgia, but in the Supreme Court right now, they are having many issues which are resulting in leaning towards banning salvia in the U.S.
Salvia is not regulated under the Controlled Substances Act, but some states, including Delaware, Illinois, Louisiana, Missouri, and others, have passed their own laws. In Delaware, a law named Brett's Law was passed, making extreme restrictions on the usage of salvia because of a suicide blamed on this mind-altering drug.
To Honolulu just to get that Maui Wowie, that Maui Wowie. Going back to Honolulu just to get that Maui Wowie, that Maui Wowie.